This coming weekend we are moving into what is a brilliant time of the year, I think anyway, which is Advent. And Advent is that 4 weeks as we run up to Christmas, and yet it's a season of the church's year that can be so easily lost in all the busyness and in the rush and everything else that comes on us during this season. Maybe think a little bit about to-do lists. Do you keep a to-do list? I keep a to-do list. I keep it in a notebook by the side of my phone on my desk. Do you keep a to-do list? Do you keep it in a diary? Do you keep it on a phone? Do you have a to-do list on a calendar, perhaps in the kitchen or on one of those whiteboards? Some people keep a whiteboard, don't they? In the kitchen or a chalkboard, and they keep a list of all the things that they want to do and achieve that week, the shopping and phone calls they've got to make, etc. What sort of to-do list, I wonder, do you keep? And what's on that to-do list during this season of Advent? Well, probably very much like what's on my to-do list. You know, we've got the Christmas cards to write and to send out to people. We've got the arrangements to make for Christmas Day with our families, if we are allowed to see them. We have the presents to buy, to wrap, to sort out and to send. We have the Christmas tree to go and source and to buy and to bring into the house and to decorate, as well as the rest of the home. And the list goes on and it goes on and it goes on. And during the 4 weeks of Advent, it can often seem that there's just not enough time to do everything. And that Christmas just suddenly comes upon us, and we're usually exhausted when it arrives. But I wonder, during this 4 weeks, the short 4 weeks, what is on your to-do list in terms of your spiritual preparation? Do you have your prayer life on your to-do list? Do you have the reading of the scriptures? Do your time spent with God? Your reading of a devotional book, perhaps, or something like that? Is spiritual preparation during Advent on your to-do list during this 4 weeks? What Advent gives us all is a great opportunity to just step back a little bit, to stop, to put the brakes on, and just to be people who wait on God. Not particularly to do anything else, but to use the time to wait. Just to sit, to be still, not to rush, and to wait on God. And not idly wait, but actively wait. However, waiting isn't something that comes easy for many of us, is it? You know, often we think, well, why do we have to wait? Why can't we just go straight into Christmas? Bang! Thank you, man, we're there. Why all the preparation for 4 weeks beforehand? It's a bit like Easter as well, when we have the 6 weeks of Lent. Why that time? Why not straight into Easter? We don't like to wait. It's a strange thing for us, especially in this instant world where everything is just get it now, have it now, and everything is instant. Do you remember Barclaycard? I don't know if you do. When it first came out, I think the slogan of Barclaycard was something like, take the waiting out of wanting. We don't like to wait. And yet, when we do wait, and when we wait actively, we find that we can grow, and that we will grow spiritually. In our waiting, when we often wait on God, you may have prayed a prayer to God. It may have been years ago, and you're still waiting for an answer. But actually, as we wait, we grow in our trust. We learn about self-discipline. We learn about self-denial. And through those times, we're spiritually and emotionally strengthened. And in a world of rush, of hurry, of pressure, and of stress, waiting is not just countercultural, but it's also good for us. It's good for our minds. When we slow down and we wait, it's good for our souls. It's good for every part of us. And it's also scriptural waiting. It's not just an idea that I've plucked out the air here. It's a scriptural thing. You know, Noah waited 40 days, didn't he, bobbling around on the sea. The people of Israel, when they came out of Egypt, had to wander for 40 days in the sand. 40 years, rather, in the sand before they got to the promised land. There were centuries of waiting before the prophets had prophesied about the coming of God's anointed one. And they had to wait for centuries before Jesus came. And then Jesus himself, he had to, beginning of his ministry, go for 40 days in the wilderness, again in the sand, as a time of preparation. Mary had to wait 9 months for her son. And Jesus' friends had to wait 3 days before resurrection. But it's in that time of waiting, of active waiting, that trust, hope, faith, strength is grown in us and developed in us. It's what it's there for. And in this time of Advent, I would encourage all of you, as I try and encourage myself as well, to actually stop a little bit and to be active in my waiting. To reflect on our spiritual journeys during this time, our spiritual preparation. And to look at our spiritual lists, our to-do lists, and to look about where things fit in and what priorities we will make. Think about developing a pattern of prayer during this Advent if you don't have one already. Maybe one of the offices, daily offices in the morning or the evening, or compline before bed. If you want a copy of the liturgy, the St Andrew's liturgy that I sent out way back in the first lockdown in March, drop me an email and I'll send it out to you. What about, if you don't already, join us on Tuesday nights for evening prayer at 7:30 on Zoom. Again, let me know and I can send you the information out for that. Why not on a Thursday morning at 10 o'clock? Join us for Zoom prayer in the morning. And then when we're back in church, hopefully in the next week or so, couple of weeks, come to communion on that Thursday morning in church. And why not read a book as well? There's a couple of books here. Just reach down here and get them. A couple of books that I found useful over the last few years, really. The first one is one called Celtic Advent by David Cole, who's a member of the community of Aidan and Hilda, who's become a good friend to Sue and I over the years. And also this one as well, which is excellent, which is one I'm using myself this year, is Lighted Windows by Margaret Silf. Margaret Silf is an Ignatian spirituality trainer and retreat leader and spiritual director and writer. But if you want to use one of those or other ones which are accessible to you, then I would urge you just to spend time with them. The good thing about these couple of books, of course, is that they're very light, they're very easy, they just take a few minutes to read a short passage from the Bible and a short commentary each day in Advent and finishes with a prayer. But something that you can do each day during this season of waiting actively before we prepare to celebrate Christmas time itself. But whatever you do during this time, put it on that to-do list. Don't squeeze it in somewhere else, because this is a real God-given opportunity this next 4 weeks for you to really engage with God, to really grow in your walk with God. And as an old vicar once said to me, and he said it in relation really to Lent, he said, and I can apply it to Advent. It was something like this: a holy Advent will make for a joyful Christmas. And I find that to be very much true in my life, and I pray that you'll find that to be true in yours as well. So take the opportunity, enjoy this next 4 weeks, but do not leave your spiritual journey and your spiritual life off or out of any to-do lists. God bless you, and thanks for listening.